Flight and tactical characteristics of the MC.205. Engine. Fiat RA. 1050 RC58. Power. HP. 1350. Wingspan. 10.58 meters. Length of aircraft. 8.82 meters. Height of the aircraft. 304 m. Wing area. 16.8 square meters. Weight. Kilogram. Empty aircraft. 2,584. Takeoff weight. 3,411. Maximal speed at an altitude of 7,500 meters, 620 kilometers per hour. Time of climb up to 7,000 meters, 7 minutes. Practical ceiling. 11,200 meters. Flying range. 950 kilometers. The history of the creation of the MC.205, Veltro, Macchi. The creation of the DB605A engine in Germany, which had dimensions similar to the DB601, but much more power, 1,475 horsepower, gave a new impetus to the development of Italian fighters. The DB605A was produced under license by the Fiat concern under the designation RA. 1050 RC58 Typhoon. However, the Italian clone was deforced in terms of speed and developed a power of only 1,350 horsepower. On April 12, 1942, the prototype MC.202 bis Macchi took to the air, converted from the serial MC.202 Macchi by installing a DB605A engine. Externally, the aircraft differed in the device of the oil cooler, the retractable tail landing gear and the shape of the propeller cock. The conversion was quite simple, and subsequently several dozen MS.202 serial gliders were converted to the RA. 1050 RC58 engine. Even before the prototype took off, the company received an order for the serial construction of a fighter under the designation MC.205 volts. Production began in early 1943. The total number of MC.205 VS built, including converted MC.202 built during the German occupation and after the war, is estimated at 262 units. Combat use of Macchi MS.205 fighters. The MC.205 Verses were the first to be received by groups of the 1st and 51st Stromos. Their first task was to cover communications between Italy and Tunisia. The 9th, 10th and 155th groups, armed with a mixture of MC.202s and MC.205s, participated in the fighting for Sicily. During the Allied landings in continental Italy, the Veltro were used as assault ships, striking at the beachhead. By the time Italy capitulated, the Air Force had time to receive only a small fraction of the MC.205 Verses ordered, with 66 fighters of this type. In the Air Force, which fought on the Allied side, MC.205 Verses were operated in the 9th and 10th groups. They fought against German forces both in Italy and in the Balkans. The Macchi factories in German-occupied Italy continued production of the Veltro, supplying more than 100 of these aircraft to the Air Force of the Italian Social Republic. Until May 1944 they served in the 1st Fighter Group. For a brief period, the MC.205 Verses were operated in combat units of the Luftwaffe, particularly in Group 2, JG-77. In post-war Italy, the surviving Veltro remained in service with the 155th Group and were further operated as training aircraft until 1955. In 1948, Macchi delivered 42 MC.205 volts to the Egyptian Air Force. The planes entered the service of the 2nd Squadron of the Egyptian Air Force and took part in the First Arab-Israeli War. The Veltro proved to be a very successful aircraft. The pilots stressed that at low and medium altitudes it was not inferior to the American Mustang. But above 6,000 meters its characteristics were inferior. the inherited Folgore wing was too small for an airplane which was 400 kilograms heavier.